Dandavas, Maharaj. Happy to see you.
Dandavad.
Dandavad, sat-cit-ananda, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Dandavad.
Ananditi Guru, Hare Krishna.
Dandavad. Hare Krishna.
Bhagavati Didi, Hare Bol.
Hari.
Darshan Didi. Dandavad.
Happy to see you, Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dandavas. All
Dandavad,
devotees. Ishwambar Prabhu. Krishna
Vishwambar
Kecha.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandas Maharaj, Dandas all devotees. Praise.
How are you, Maharaj?
I am good, Prabhu, thank you. You all look happy there. Ananditi is in ecstasy with Lakshmi.
One moment, Maharaj. Subtitle for. Repeat, please, Maharaj.
I guess that Ananditi, Didi looks in ecstasy with Lakshmi.
Ah, yeah, yeah, Maharaj.
She loves her very much.
The sister Lakshmi.
Very nice. Simple. And Linda, Didi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. How are
I
you?
don't know. I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yep.
Nice.
Dandavad, Didi.
Dandavad. Dandavad.
Into that.
The devotees are in Jagannath Puri, huh? Today?
Yes. This morning, I speaking with Srila Bhakti Shanta Maharaj.
Oh,
He tell me tomorrow is very important day. Maharaj tell me you Harinanda, you will can prepare a prasada, cake, paneer, and other preparation for tomorrow. I tell to Maharaj, yeah, Maharaj, tomorrow cooking.
as part of the Rath Yatra, putting the carts. Lord Jagannath is very merciful. Generally, people have to go to the temple to see the Lord. But in Jagannath, he comes out from the temple to see the people. Huh? You heard? You can hear.
No understand, Maharaj. Sorry.
I said, generally, people have to go to the temple. Huh?
Ah, yes,
To see
yeah,
the Lord. But in
yeah, yeah,
Jagannath, the Lord comes out of the temple to see the people.
yes.
That's the Rath Yatra festival.
In YouTube, TV India, I don't remember the tone in YouTube. All transmission, all Ratha Yatra in YouTube.
Huh?
Last year, they made the Ratha Yatra in Puri live streamed on
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah, they usually show online. Anyhow, it'd be very nice.
Yeah.
One day you have to go to India for the Rath Yatra.
I had no sukriti, Maharaj. We
At
are
least,
people.
at least once in your life. Once in your life, you must go there. Yeah?
Okay.
Very nice. At least once in our life. We should go to India, go to the holy places, Navadvip Dham, Mayapur Dham, Jagannath Puri. Puridam.
We are not go to India in this life, but I think India in my here. It's not possible for me go to India, but India live in my heart, and sacred place live in my heart, mind. But I had I think someday I will go to India for great the Guru and Vaishnavas.
Krishna will arrange. You'll make it possible. All right, let us make our prayer. Vandana. Vandeham Guru
Shri Guru Shri
Padakamalam
Padakamalam
Shri
Shri
Guru
Guru Vaishnavamscha
See
Vaishnava
Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tvam Sajivam
Advaitam Advaita Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha
Krishna
Krishna
Sadam
Sadhana Lalita Shri
Advaita
Vishakamitamscha
Sasuro Melidayana Paima Siri
Tasmai Shri
Gura
Gurave
Jana Shalaya
Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri Gurave Namaha
Puja Guru
Puja Shri Guru
Vargamita
Vargamita
Bhagavadgitaya
Mahayavadipaya Sada
Svagopaya
Guru
Parampara
Parampara
Pradita
Prachalita
Prachalita
Brahmana
Shri
Samudrakiti Nirmala
Bhakti Nirmala
Nidahasya
Nirjharasya
Buddham
Ratam
Samrakshakam
Samrakshakam Sadaram
Vande Shri Guru
Vande Shri
Deva
Gurudeva
Vande
Mahata
Shri Radha
Shiracharya Varnam Nijam
Gaurvadisa
Purvavishta Supurakam Guruganay Ashisha Ushitam Chintya Chinta Samasta Veda Nipunam Shirupa Pantha Hanukam Govindam Vidam Ucchalam Bharatanam Bhaktanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Chadeva Bhagavan Premno Evija Devam Divyatnam Suchandavadanam Balakrachilach Amlanandapuram Sad Ekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vande Tam Shubhadam Madhikam Sharanam Nyashishwaram Sridharam
Sri
Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tirtho
Gauriya
Gaudiya Guru Anvaye Bhato Vanariva Prabhata Gugane Yogo Rasa Kirtanai Maya Vada Timingalo Dara Gatan Udhatya Jivanimam Krishna Premistabdi Gahana Sukham Radha Krishna
Lord Kishoraya
Gaurakishoraya Bhaktavaduta
Murtaya
Murtaye
Gaurangri
Gaurangri
Padmavindaya
Padmavindaya
Radha Bhavani
Radha Bhavani Shavini Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Sakam Bhakti Shastra Samracham Rakha Sudhanidhim
Gaura Braja Sita
Vigraham Jagannatha Prabandham Prematim Vriddha Vaishnavam Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Krishna Bhakta Rupa Sarupam Bhaktaram Bhaktakyam
Namami Gaura
Namami Bhakta Shaktikam
O
Om
Bhagavan
Bhavatanaya
Prema Prabha
Prayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratise Namaha Jayatam Sripad Mama Mandirati Matsaraswat Jo Madham Ganamo Divyadranarantakal Sridhara Simhasanastha Srila Srila Govinda Devo Krishna Sevyamanam Sapsmarami Vrindaye Vamshi Vatatatastita Darshan Vinaspadair Hopil Gopinatha Shreestu Naha Vrindaye Tulsi Devi Aye Iyaye Kesha Sacha Krishna Bhakti Pratene Satyavate Namo Namaha Athan Natva Mantra Guru
Guru
Gurun Bhagavatarthadan Vyasan Jagadguru Nahtva Tato Jayanti
Joy Sabari Shri Guru Gauranga
Guru
Dindar
Dharma Govinda Adma Ajachu Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Sri
Shri
Gaura
Vasari Gaur Bhaktaranda
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama Hare Rama
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Santa Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai
Jai Bhagavan ki Jai. Jai Samaveda
Jai
Bhakti ki Jai. And glories to the
Jai
assembled devotees. All glory to the worldwide devotees. Call Premanandi. Hari
Hare
Hari.
Om
Sripad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Jai
Bhakti Linda. Linda, can you hear?
Yes, yes, I
Yes.
can.
Do you know if Oma Devi is still in London or if she went to India?
No, she went to India a couple of days ago, so she's there now.
Okay.
She's there. She's gone for 3 months.
Oh, for 3 months only. I see.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to go there permanently.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
thought you were talking about Kanapriya.
oh no,
She's
no.
gone. Oh,
Yes,
sorry. Kanapriya went for 3 months, so I don't know about Umadevi then.
I see. Okay.
Is she going
Uh,
permanently?
well, she comes from India, so I thought she was going to go now that her husband has passed away.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Maybe she'll join us sometimes.
Let's see. Thank you. All right. So now we'll read from Prapanna-jivanamrtam. And Ayo Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacharya Astatana Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Sri Srila
Jai
Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki Jai.
Jai
Next, in chapter 9, the words Nectarian words of the Lord on the topic of surrender. And we're reading text 28 from the Bhagavad Gita. The verse is coming. First commentary is a single sentence commentary by Srila Maharaja that will read the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Sadhu-Jivanam Chaitanya Rupatvat Singha Swatantrat Taya Sad Vyavaharena Parishare Raye Parashantihi Tam Eva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhavena Bharata Tad Prasadat Param Santim Stanam Prapasti Shashvatam. So the translations, the pure spirit souls have finite independence due to their constitutional nature as atomic conscious entities. By proper utilization of that independence, they take shelter of the Supreme Lord and thus attain to the supreme peace. And the verse is translated as, O Bharata, surrender unto the Lord in all respects. By his grace you will attain to supreme peace and the eternal abode. Very simple. The individual, the Atma, the soul, every individual, living entity, every human being, human living entity, is a spirit soul, and he has this consciousness. We're all conscious. To be a human being means to be conscious. To have life means to be conscious also. That consciousness means that there's also freedom, free will, conscious existence. Is there something there, a subject who is determining, who can determine what he is seeing, what he is conscious of? We have to be able to discriminate or determine what we are seeing. The senses can detect that something is. The senses can see an object or hear something or see something or taste something. But what that thing is, there's two things, right? There's the thing itself, that it is, and then there's what it is. That it is just means it's being. The senses detect the presence of things. The senses says this is here, that is there. They say it. As long as you say it is a cow. Something in the environment comes before you, and you make two determinations about it. Dandavat Sananda Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Maharaja and the devotees.
Dandavat Prabhu.
Dandavat.
Haribol.
Dandavat.
So we always make two determinations. One, that the thing is, or its being, and then what the thing is determination. So when you look at something you say, it is a cow, or it is a cloud, or it is a fence, or it is a person, or it is a tree, we always start with it. It implies something obscure, something specific, but is not really defined. We don't really say anything about it except that it means there's something there. So we start with being of things. That's the senses. They detect that something is there. But what it is determined by something else other than the senses. That is the mind, or the consciousness. Mind is necessary to say what it is. Eyes only see, not things. What is something there? Just like, what is that iPhone?
I don't know.
Uh,
I'm not sure.
Senses only detect the being that things are there, the presence of something. Just like um, if you have a robot and you put some sensors on the robot, in order for a robot to detect the presence of something, you can put a sensor on the robot. That sensor is usually made up of what is called a photoelectric cell. A photoelectric cell is it's a tube that detects photons or light. Light is photons. So when you put a photoelectric cell on a robot, the robot can move around, and if that photoelectric cell he has on his head or wherever, if it detects some light coming in, it knows there's something there, but the light is bouncing off. Huh? And so that photoelectric cell tells the robot, there's something there, something emitting photons, something light is bouncing off of. And when the robot feels that, senses that, and the electricity, photoelectric cell produces some electric current, and that electric current will go to a computer, and that computer will say, oh, there's a current coming from this photoelectric cell. That means there's something there. That program has to be made for the computer to say. So the cell only detects that there's something there. But what it is, that has to be done by the computer. Huh? What happens once you see it there? That all the computer and the program has to be there. Then robot can act according to what it detects. In the same way with our senses. Our senses detect that something is there. But what it is requires a program, requires a computer or the brain, a mind. Mind is necessary to compute that something is there and then determine what that is, called determination or judgment. Judgment. When we say it is a cow, that's a judgment. We connect it with cow. It, the thing that is there with the cow, the idea of a cow, or a tree or a cow, or whatever it may be, the mind will supply the proper determination. And in this way, they work together, the senses and the mind. Senses and the mind. So this process by which the mind is there, the mind is free to decide what it is. Some people will look at a cow and will see the cow, but other people may look at it and say, oh, there's some monster here or some other thing, if they're not familiar with cows. The idea that you apply to the being of things, that's dependent upon the individual, his education, his knowledge, his experience. Not that the thing itself changes, but the perception of it will change because the mind has a freedom, certain freedom to interpret what it's what its senses present to it. Those things that the senses present to it. The mind has a freedom to decide what are those things, how to interpret those things. So that freedom is there in the soul. And there's consciousness, the freedom is there. How to receive that information, how to interpret and how to participate in that situation also, how to act in that situation. It's all up to the individuality of or freedom of the soul, on the consciousness. So like that, this verse is saying that the proper utilization of your freedom, one who is educated or has some realization in the nature of God, has some intuitive idea or sense of God, he has the freedom to turn his attention to the mundane situation or to the divine presence of the Lord. So one who utilizes that freedom to surrender to Krishna, recognizing his dependence upon the Lord, surrender to the Lord. Here is the person who can find peace and immortality. His immortality lies in his relationship with the immortal by only using his freedom to see something of the mundane world, something in relationship to the mundane world. The mundane world is characterized by one thing, or many things, but basically one thing is there. It's always changing. It's temporary. Huh? So by focusing attention upon worldly things, they're ultimately destined to be dissolved, to disappear. Huh? Death. And by focusing our attention on the divine, on the immortal, then immortality is there. We can become identified with the immortal thing. That is our choice. Mortal is immortal. We have that choice. And that choice is always there. It's eternal choice also. Because the soul is not the same as the body. The soul is between that identity, that being which lies between God and the world. The three things: God, the world, and the soul in between. So because we are in the middle, called Tatastha, Tatastha Shakti, the marginal potency. We have both a worldly and a godly uh, nature that we can contact, uh, that we are in contact. It's difficult, therefore, for the soul. We have a choice. That freedom is there. To focus his attention upon the worldly things or upon the godly. So the scriptures are there, and the saints are there to tell us that uh, there isn't an eternal world. Don't just get caught up in the mortal things of this world. We have a choice. And because in the mortal world, things about God and so forth are not considered, uh, we need the help of the saint persons of the scriptures. Otherwise, we will never, through our worldly experiences, ever understand that there's a choice to be made. By the grace of Krishna, by the grace of the devotees, by the grace of the Shastra, we learn about these things, and then we can make our decision. And the Krishnas tell us that if we want peace, we want lasting peace, not just some temporary uh, mirage, illusion of peace, of happiness. And we must turn our attention to Krishna and surrender our freedom. Freedom means we can surrender. We have the choice to submit ourselves, to dedicate ourselves, to serve the divine, or we can invest our energy in trying to lord over material energy. That freedom is there. The devotee who can surrender himself to herself, they're the ones that get peace, and that is uh, emphasized in the scripture in all the teachings of the saints who have taken that process up and have found that satisfaction. that you could not find through worldly activity. Krishna very nicely explaining the secrets to us in the Bhagavad Gita. It's up to us now to take that to heart and apply. But it is by His grace you will attain peace. His grace. In Maharaj's book, Guru and His Grace. Generally, you don't hear anything about Guru in this world. The main world knows nothing about Guru. And even those who know about Guru, very, very few understand the grace of Guru. That is also a very important element. The grace of Guru. And not enough that you come to Guru, take initiation and all these formal things. That's very nice. But that is only the first step to make progress in the spiritual life. You must also get the grace of Guru. There's a personal relationship that has to be established. Being a disciple of Guru. Heart connection. To enter into that world, the divine world, in proper personal sense, not just in a philosophical, what do you want to call it, a knowledge, based on knowledge of something. Just like you may know that there is a president. If you live in America, you may know there's a president. Or if you live in another country, you may know there's a prime minister. Knowledge is one thing. But to have a personal relationship with that president or that prime minister, that's a different thing than simply knowing that he is there. So knowing and having a personal relationship, these are two different things. Not that you can have a personal relationship without knowing. It's required. You have to know in order to have a relationship with him. You have to at least know that the person is there in order to have a relationship. So knowledge is not separate from that personal connection. But the spiritual world is based upon personal relationship with Krishna. That is the genuine spiritual. Merely knowing doesn't get into that relationship, but it gets us into that plane, Brahman plane, and personal plane. At least beyond this material plane, there is a personal, there is an impersonal or spiritual plane. How we can get to that plane? By knowledge. But beyond that, we have to go to knowing the Supreme Person and loving the Supreme Person, having a loving relationship. That will put us into the center of the spiritual dedication, devotion, love. So that grace, that loving connection, that is also necessary. Text number 29. Again, we are reading first from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, of course, is so often mentioned in this chapter because we're talking about the instructions of the Lord, the words of the Lord on the topic of surrender. So Bhagavad Gita means the words of the song of God. Huh? Gita, the song, and Bhagavan, Bhagavan, God. Bhagavad Gita is full of the words of Krishna, and one of the unique scriptures in the world, because most of the scriptures are the writings of sages and saints. But Bhagavad Gita is the words of the Lord Himself. There we don't find that so much in the other scriptures. Maybe here and there. In other scriptures we might find the Lord said this or that. But in Bhagavad Gita, the whole book is about what Krishna is saying. And now, so here are the verses. Bhakta Andavasya Bhagavata Parama Mamo Padesha. The commentary, the comment of Srila Maharaj on the verse in the Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva Guyatamam Bhuya Shrinume Paramam Vacha Ishtosi Me Dadam Iti Tato Vakshyami Tehitam. The most hidden, Maharaj's comment is the most hidden of all hidden treasures of the Lord, the most affectionate advice of the devotee's dear friend is being given in this verse. It says, I have revealed to you my hidden teaching of the non-differentiated absolute and my more hidden teaching of the almighty dominion. Now here the most hidden of all hidden treasures concerning thee, the sweet absolute of all the teachings I have imparted within this Gita Shastra. This is the topmost. You are most dear to me, and I am explaining this for your best benefit. So, this word, yuyatamam. Yuyatamam. Sarva guyatamam. Sarva means all, and guyatamam. Guya or gupta, you know this word. Gupta means hidden. Guya also means hidden. Guya, hidden. And there's three forms of guya. Guya, guyata, and guyatama. Guya, guyata, and guyatama. Guya means secret. Guyata means more secret, and guyatama means most secret. So the three dimensions here in the Gita that Krishna reveals, three dimensions of realization that Krishna is teaching to Arjuna and to the souls who are very astute, very keen to understand the details of what Krishna is saying here very carefully. Guya and Guyatama. What is that? Secret? More secret. How do you say about that? What is the secret? And what is the more secret? And what is the most secret in the Bhagavad Gita? So he explains here. I reveal to you my teaching of the non-differentiated absolute. The non-differentiated absolute. What's that? That is called Brahman or Brahma Buddha. First secret teaching to the souls of this conditioned souls of this world is that you are not the body, you're the soul. You're a spirit, spiritual being, not a material being. That's the first secret Krishna tells them. what is it, the second chapter of Gita? Tehinosmin yata dehe. Huh?
2.13.
The second chapter. Tehinosmin, Krishna says, Tehinosmin yata dehe. You are not the body, huh? You're at the embodied. Embodied means there's something and then there's the body around it. First thing, Krishna tells, the first secret. Generally, people go on in this world, they have no idea that there's a soul. They have their body and they have their friends and everybody's there. Well, everybody, huh? Everything. That's all they know, everybody and everything. But they have no idea that there's a soul within the body that's moving the whole thing. So Krishna says, this is the first secret that you must understand. Without telling people the secret, they wouldn't know. They would just know everybody and everything. You have to tell them there's something else. The first secret you have to learn. Only revealed by the Lord is devotees. They're the only ones who teach this. Mundane people, they don't know anything about that. Tell a scientist what is the soul. They say, what are you talking about? Some superstition. Okay? The materialists don't know anything. They don't want to hear about it. What the hell? It says, first thing you must understand. The secret thing I'm telling you, you are a spirit, you are a soul, not just merely a body. That's the first secret. And then he says, then my more hidden teaching of the Almighty dominion, not only are you a soul, but there is a superior being, a superior to all these things, even to the soul. Soul is superior to matter, because without the soul, the matter would not move. Matter is dead. The thing that moves it is not matter. Matter can't move itself. The animate doesn't come from movement of matter. It comes from something animating it. Otherwise, matter will remain as it is unless it's moved by another piece of matter. But what moved the first matter? Can't be matter. Matter has to be moved by spirit or soul. So first thing is there is soul, and then the second thing is that soul is not supreme either. Soul is superior to matter, but what is superior to soul? And then he says, here's my second thing. Paramatma, huh? The super soul. The soul also has a superior. It's called Paramatma. Soul is Atma, and the super soul is Paramatma. So the soul also doesn't have any independence, can't have any separate movement on its own, a separate power on its own. Compared to the material energy, it seems to have more, it does have more power. But compared to the super soul, it is also something that is energetic and that requires a source of its movement, of its existence. Because the second secret that Krishna reveals, the super soul. The soul is the first kuya, the super soul is the second kuyata, and then the third. The most hidden of all the hidden treasures concerning me is the sweet absolute. Not only am I more superior, but I am sweeter, the sweetest thing. That's underlying the whole thing. There's sweetness there. And he tells, What is that? What is that sweetness? He says, you are dear to me, and I am dear to you, and this is called love. And sweetness is love. And love makes the world go round. Divine love. It is above the controlling power, superior to the superior controlling power. Sometimes Gurudev has given the example of the king, the royalty. They have their royal family, they have a privileged position in society, the king, the royalty. But sometimes that king, that royalty, they fall in love with a commoner, someone who is not of the royal family. And what happens? That love surpasses their kingly, their royalty, their higher status, higher situation, and they come down to the commoner level out of love, uh, showing that love is superior to their so-called superior position. So like that. My superior position is the super soul. I'm above all you souls. But there's something higher than that can drag me down from that superior position, and that is love. And I become dear to you, and you become dear to me. And that is the most powerful thing in the whole universe. I love it. Krishna calls that Kuyatamam. That's Krishna says, I'm explaining this to you for your benefit. And you understand this, then you will benefit the maximum. You'll know all the secrets, all the meaning, the purpose, the goal of life, everything. This he reveals. To whom? It is to the envious, the curious, the philosophers, all these people are trying for so many things, knowledge, or those who are seeking wealth, or followers, or fame, or whatever they may be, only to those who are sincere, genuine, devotees, lovers of God. This knowledge is being given by Krishna. And he was in this way to his friend Arjuna. And we are so fortunate that we can listen in to this discussion and this revelation of so many secret things of the heart between Krishna and Arjuna, and thereby get some inspiration, some divine conception in our own hearts, and that will benefit us. We may also, get some direction, some encouragement to go in the proper direction of highest fulfillment. Gauranga Gita Shastra.
Maharaj,
Yes,
I I had little comment about this topic. I can send to you and send to Keshava Prabhu little comment.
yes, Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
We have one participant with iPhone 9 as the name. If you want to maybe introduce yourself to Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Anonymous. He wants to remain anonymous, or she? Yeah.
Ariananda is saying, Dandava Pranams Maharaj, a small reflection. The first secret leads to understanding the Achintya Bheda Abheda. That is, we are part of him, but we are not him. The second secret leads to the understanding that we are individual, dependent souls. And the third secret tells you or leads to understanding that Krishna is the supreme, and therefore we must surrender to him. Therefore, that would be the 3 stages of the process.
Three what?
Stages.
People?
Stages.
Huh?
3
Stages?
stage.
Stage?
Yes.
Of?
Process.
Of the process. Yes, you could say like that. Evolution of consciousness. Huh? First, consciousness identifies itself with the material energy, and then it identifies with the soul itself, and then it identifies with what it is part of. Consciousness of the individual. You are conscious as an individual, but so are other people. Huh? You are not the only consciousness. Others are also conscious. So in what do all these consciousnesses exist? What is that they're contained in? But there's a higher consciousness that totality is contained within. A universal. So there's the individual and a particular consciousness, and then there's the universal consciousness, in which all those particulars are found. You can say it like that. And then there's the synthesis of all of that. And there's the higher thing. There's the personality of God. The unity of all those things. Srila Maharaj once explained it. And Brahman is the all accommodating, absolute. Parmama is the all pervading aspect of the absolute. And Krishna is the all attractive, absolute. You have the accommodating, the pervading, and the attracting. The attracting is the unifying. Unifies all these other aspects. Therefore, it's the highest, the synthesis. Goranga, Goranga Mahaprabhu. Reality, the beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other questions? Comment?
Thank you, Maharaj. Very nice. Thank you.
Okay. You have a lot of fun cooking tomorrow and offering to Lord Jagannath nice prasadam, celebrating His mercy, huh? His grace. Lord Jagannath is so merciful. He comes out to us. That's what we need. How we can approach him. If he can't approach us, then we are lost. Yes, to approach him is very difficult. We are finite, and how do we approach the infinite? Not possible for us. But because he is merciful, because he is gracious, he comes to us. What greater love can there be that the infinite will come to the finite to overcome his own superiority out of love for the living entity, for his devotee. Hare
Oh, Hari Bol.
Pranam. Please be well, safe, be happy, in service. I love to you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Dandavat.
Hare Krishna devotee.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, devotees.
Jai Srila Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai, Jai, Jai.